What is going on, YouTube family? Today we are going to be learning exactly how to shade a face with colored pencils. I know, exciting. But before we do that, I have two confessions. One is that I hate colored pencils. I know, crazy, I know, but they can have a really powerful impact on your mixed media art journaling faces, and especially when you couple them with other really great supplies. Now, the reason I hate them is that when you use them by themselves, there's a lot of grinding and layering and burnishing and effort to make any impact at all. It's slow going, and I'm like an impatient 5-year-old. I don't want to work at anything too hard, to be quite frank. I do art because it's fun, and spending a lot of time grinding pencil marks together to make anything at all is annoying to me. However, they do have such an awesome purpose, and again, when coupled with really cool supplies, you can make an amazing impact and really accentuate your drawings. So today we're going to be using our face drawing template, and if you don't know what the heck that is, it makes your life super easy and able to easily add faces into your art journaling projects. You can refer to the eye in the corner of your screen, which is going to be, oh, I always get it wrong, one of these corners, and that will show you how we make our template so that we can pop faces in super fast and easy into our art journals. And then if you want to learn how to draw faces, well, I have like a gazillion tutorials on YouTube on how to do that from scratch. I will link all the resources in the description box and in the comment section below for you. To get a free copy of your face template download, just let me know in the comments section below if you need that, and I'll pop you a link that will send that right to your inbox. So I'm using Arteza Transfer Paper to transfer the face template onto this piece of Bristol paper. And this time around, I changed up the face shape and the nose shape and the eyebrow shape, and I really made this like a classic Karen Campbell fun fab face. If you're not familiar with that, I have a book series published called How to Draw Fun Fab Faces, and this girl is like classic style. I love drawing in this way, drawing on Bristol and then coloring in with my alcohol markers. It's really, really fun. It produces like a really bold graphic look that I think is really crisp and clean and enjoyable to make. You can use any brand of alcohol markers, from Sharpies to Copics. There's really a ton available in all price ranges on the market. I'm using mine from my signature Fun Fab drawing kit that is sold at jerrysartorama.com, and I'm very happy with them. They're very reasonably priced, and all alcohol markers marry well together. That's actually probably the best part about them, is you can combine all the brands. They all marry well, so you can interchange them, add to your collection of different brands and whatnot. I'm using my shading guide. This is page 55 from my very first How to Draw Fun Fab Faces book, but I'm also giving this away as a free download as well. So if you want the shading guide and the face template together, just request the face drawing cheat sheet bundle, and I will drop you a link that will actually give you these two free resources, plus my eyelash guide, and also one more that I'm forgetting. Oh, the face drawing guidelines. So it's just it has all the guidelines on it, so that reminds you that when you're drawing faces, where to line up the eyes, nose, and mouth so that your proportions are correct, and that when you're drawing any kind of face, either whimsical or realistic, that your proportions are correct, and then it greatly improves the look of your faces. Just keeps reminding you of kind of what goes where. So again, this is my Fun Fab drawing style that I just love. I take long breaks from this, and then whenever I go back, it's really like partying with my best friend. I like can't wait. The hair, I always do these different blocks of color in the same shade, and I've never done the same thing twice. Oh, and if you want more in this style, if you really like this, I forgot, I have here on YouTube my 100 Fun Fab Faces challenge that I ran in 2018, and people are still diving into these lessons and doing them and posting them on social media, and they're so much fun. But the very, very first lesson of that entire series is one of these girls, and we do her with green hair, and I know a ton of you guys have done it, and I've seen them, and they're so good. So I will link to that in the description box as well, and the little eye in the corner here will also lead you to those. There are actually 20 face drawing lessons, and the idea is that you do 1 a week with me, and then you do 5 more on your own, and you kind of change things up. So you can change up the hair or the nose or the mouth. It's similar to this little series that I'm doing right now with the face templates, only it's more, we draw from scratch every time. And then the idea is at the end of 20 weeks, you'll have drawn 100 faces. So it's amazing. If you go on social media, Instagram, and type in 100 Fun Fab Faces, the hashtag, you will see everybody's work. There's thousands of posts. It's actually super, super encouraging and really, really fun. And a lot of people have gotten their start drawing faces from that series. So that makes me so happy. So finally, without further ado, we're on to the colored pencil part. All right, so as you can see, I've done this whole project in alcohol markers, and there is kind of a rough transition between this color and this color. If you notice, that's very abrupt. So you can use colored pencils to help shade your faces by easing the transition between the colors that you've put down. Such a great correcting advice. So what you do is you just pick colors that match the marker colors that you've used approximately. And you want to focus on doing like a light, I'm pushing down really lightly, and I'm focusing on those transitional areas to help blend from one color to the next. So this is the magic of colored pencils. Is really this right here. And what's super nice about them too is whereas markers go on really, really boldly, there's no subtle, you can't, doesn't matter if you're pushing down hard or you're pushing down lightly, you'll always get the same mark, right, on your paper. But colored pencils, again, the magic and how they work is that you can vary your pressure and vary your strokes to get different effects. So you can start out really, really slowly and build up layers, or you can keep it really soft. And it's funny too, because when you take a step back to look at this piece, you don't even see the colored pencil. It's so subtle, but you can really use it to help ease these transitions. It just gives it a more sophisticated, it really brings your piece to the next level actually. And so I'm just using, dragged in some unwanted little marker there. But see how there's like these lines? Ideally, you don't want them. Now that's a stylistic preference. Some people probably love that. It doesn't bother me at all. It probably, if you have OCD, it probably would drive you crazy. So again, you can use your colored pencils to help shade your faces to augment the supplies that you're already using. They look so great coupled with a more dominant supply. So my favorite way to use them is to use them with alcohol markers and over inks and watercolors. You can also go lighter. So for instance, you can do it to add like a little bit of texture too, and you also introduce like another color. So here's another color. If you wanted to add some pinker tones to our cheeks, you could add just a pinker shade. And again, I'm working at the areas that I want to help these transitional areas, help them out because it's just so abrupt. So choose the corresponding colors that match the colors that you're already using and just kind of have fun with it. But it is really nice if you are like a little careful. You can build up very slowly, so it doesn't have to be as jarring as, say, working with some markers. Now maybe too, I want maybe she has a little bit more of a pink cheek. You can add these really subtle tonal differences. And you can go even lighter still. Oops. So dragging out the color that's there. Again, trying to cut down and ease the transition of those colors that are there. So this is where I find color pencils come in to help us out the most. It's not using it on their own, it's coupling it with stronger media. And of course you can even use like a white. Now the white doesn't cover over, it's not gonna be super opaque, like if this was like a paint pen, but it does help kind of burnish, which is like a fancy word for kind of squish in the other colors. You can kind of get some rosier tones, like creamier tones. So it's just a different look than if I went in here with marker, which is what I normally would do because I have like a strong artistic personality. But you can get really, really lovely built up shades just by using your Prismacolors. Put the highlight on the eye, for example. And it blends all the other colors of the color pencils we already put down. It gives you a really beautiful, softened, glowy effect on top of your alcohol markers. Like yummo. So again, I'm using my shading guide, picking out this one, and so now I can take a minute and highlight some of the parts of the face that are sticking out. I did a full demo with this last week using my foam head, so if you haven't checked out that video and you want help with shading, check out the eye in the corner of your screen, and you can go back and watch that after you watch this one. You can bring her cheeks a bit forward using just some light concentrated shading with your color pencils. And you don't need to limit yourself to using the pencils on the face. If you want to go in and add depth and texture and strands to the hair, then color pencils on top of the alcohol markers is another really great option. So don't ever be afraid to give that a try. Right? So if that's too shy for you, oops, you can always opt for a bolder marker. This Pit Pen is like super dried up. Oh, and there's colors on it. Great, which I am now dragging on my girl. So if you want something more marked, definitely grab a marker. And you can get more vivacious. You can get obviously more, not vivacious, opaque highlights. And if you want a really opaque highlight, then you can even grab like a little opaque, you can grab a little acrylic ink or some gouache. And, you know, take your highlighting to the next level, if that's something that you are interested in. I was gonna spend a lot more time on the hair, but I really wanted to keep the focus of this on the color pencil layering tools and not just like fine-tuning this project. So we're gonna skip projects and I'm gonna show you really how you can use the same layering with your watercolors. So yes, so colored pencils to me augment all of my projects, and this also holds true for my acrylic projects as well. I don't know why I'm not talking about that so far. I haven't mentioned that so far, but that is true as well. I do use them in my mixed media projects in the same way. A lot of times I will outline with them because they don't react when you're adding your sealant layers. If you are familiar with my mixed media Hamburger system, you know that my sealant layer is like an integral part of my layering system. So I know if I am not in the mood for a crazy dramatic like stabilo activation, I will just draw with my colored pencil, because I know that whatever I'm putting on top is not going to move those around. So it's a great layering product if you want something to stand still in your mixed media projects. So that's another third application that I'm not including in this video. I could talk kind of on and on and on, but that is another application as well. But again, I'm using it as a layering tool on top of existing acrylics or collages and not on its own. So as far as watercolor projects, it behaves, the color pencils behave very much in the same way. So I do my watercolor projects really to fruition and to completion. And then when I'm 99% done, that's when I bring in my colored pencils and I augment the colors and the values and the shading that's already there to punch up any areas that need more drama, or to smooth out any transitions that are looking too rough or abrupt, or to mellow out and cause like a gold glowing kind of hue, and that's by using that white and really burnishing the layers that are beneath it. And then I'll slow this down to real time so you can see what I mean. So this is the same situation with the watercolor. So this time her shading is a little bit darker. So again, I just choose tones that match the colors that I have down already. Usually one darker, one lighter. This one has different tones in it. And then the same exact process takes place. And again, for me, the magic of the colored pencils is just augmenting and accentuating the colors that I already have down with the main media, which is not the colored pencils. Straight color pencil work is, to me, very work intensive. And when I do it on top of watercolors or inks, or alcohol markers, it's more of like a really soothing, it's like a soothing, subtle augmentation practice where you're just adding these like really subtle, but the subtle strokes, but then the overall effect can be quite dramatic. But they definitely play a supporting role and are not the main medium. But I think that's fine. So when I say that I hate colored pencils, it's not that I hate colored pencils, it's just I like them to always be playing a supporting role and not be the main feature. And really it is like a matter of just because they're so work intensive. I know that makes me sound so lazy, but it really is true. But oh my gosh, these as a supporting role and just using them as a little touch to add drama and dimension to my characters and the faces that I draw is like really, really endlessly fascinating. And that for me is very fun. So you really, really can, and it is worth adding colored pencils in addition to your other projects. And you can have a little bit, can really go a long way. And again, to reiterate, it helps with the easing the transition, which is why it's important to pick the colors that appear in your pages. It can help with those transitions. Also produces a really nice texture. Oh, again, it makes your work a little bit more sophisticated than just flat one and done. But it's also an aesthetic choice. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. Next week we are talking everything eyelashes. So if you want to learn about that, subscribe, and I will see you next Friday for a new video tutorial on eyelashes.